Mike Sierra 1 can't handle the truth.
You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this?
I am authorized to assure you these rumors are based on hysteria and are absolutely false. I repeat, these rumors are absolutely false.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining me once again as I take another look into the relentless lies of Mike Zeroh. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at Zeroh's news about the up-and-coming Snow White 2023 remake, from the animation classic of 1937 to the live-action adaptation. If Zeroh stays on his current trend of making 2 videos a week about this film, by the time it's released, he would have made somewhere in the region of 448 videos on Snow White alone, and that doesn't include the videos he has already made about Snow White since he started 3 weeks ago, which total around 42. And what were these 42 videos based on? Well, all of his stories have spawned from one single picture, this one. One picture has generated a ridiculous amount of videos in relation to what most other YouTubers are putting out, but once again Zeroh can't sit around waiting for something to happen within the film and TV industry, so he just makes it up instead.
Specifically, Disney has reportedly fired an entire marketing team that was responsible for the upcoming Snow White film. These firings are said to be in the dozens, handling the promotional work of Snow White, as well as Disney firing an entire trailer company that was working on the Snow White official trailer to be released by this year's D23 event in September. Disney is now rapidly seeking a new trailer company after firing the previous one in an attempt to hide or drastically reduce the appearance of the 7 dwarves in the official trailer.
If we go by the time that this picture became public, which was around the 14th or 15th of July, in just the space of 5 to 6 days, Zeroh started a new story campaign whereby people were fired by Disney. It goes without saying that there are no comebacks from these firings, no disgruntled employees coming out of the woodwork to proclaim the disdain for their employers, who, if this story were true, would be to blame for the whole situation in the first place. All of these videos had fired in the title, so using that as a base, let's now move on to the 22nd of July 2023, and please remember who has been fired thus far: a marketing team and an unnamed trailer company.
Now, after the leaked photos surfaced, Disney has been preparing to make endless revisions to the film as much as they can, but it's not going to be enough. This includes now the firing of many of the singers, the sound crew, the recording artists, and more that handled the remixed version of the iconic song Hi-Ho from 1937's film. Now, originally, Disney had created a pop version of that song with brand new lyrics that were going to be dubbed over the 7 actors portraying the magical creatures.
So 2 days on and we now have singers, the sound crew, and the recording artists added to the list of people that just ain't cutting it for Disney. The reason being they weren't impressed with a remixed pop version of the iconic song Hi-Ho, so fired that entire workforce as well. We now move forward another 4 days to July the 26th, 2023.
Iger and the board recently finalized another phase of the firings surrounding this film, as they plan to re-edit the entire film ahead of its release date to improve the movie. Disney is planning on firing and replacing a series of editors, sound engineers, and others that are involved in the post-production process of the film. Disney also fired a series of singers that took part in the many songs of Snow White and are looking to re-record some of the already controversial subpar pieces of music in the movie if and when the strikes come to a close. Otherwise, Disney will have to stick with the songs that they already have, such as the remixed version of Hi-Ho that is a mixture of folk and hip-hop. So far, they are planning on hiring new editors and mixers after firing a batch to work on the revised version of Hi-Ho. These new firings come just after Disney dropped 2 major trailer companies that were putting together the Snow White official trailer, as Disney fired them too and are seeking a brand new company up for hire to handle it differently than the other company was having a tough time dealing with Disney's demands after the leaked photos created a scare among executives. Not to mention that the entire marketing team of Snow White has been fired and restructured.
Over the course of 6 days, from the 20th to the 26th of July, Zeroh would have you believe that a multitude of people have been fired by Disney because they basically took it upon themselves to either do everything other than what Disney told them to do, or they couldn't handle what Disney were telling them to do in the first place. singers and recording artists, which is one and the same, a marketing team which has now been restructured, sound engineers and editors responsible for post-production, which are not to be confused with the sound engineers and recording crew who were fired when it came to the songs, have all been let go. And speaking of songs, the song Hi Ho is now a folk and hip-hop remix, which was a pop version before, and we now have 2 trailer companies that have been fired, when there was originally only one. As I mentioned in my last video, Zeroh likes to use the term finalize. With this term he can prolong his stories, because using that term means that things never get sorted right away, they're dragged out for as long as possible, and there now follows an example of this in the next clip I'm about to play.
Now currently the Disney higher-ups are moving ahead with a strategy to fire the entire marketing team.
Did you catch that? I'll play it again.
Now currently the Disney higher-ups are moving ahead with a strategy to fire the entire marketing team.
That's from a video posted on the 2nd of August, and 7 days earlier, Zeroh said this.
Not to mention that the entire marketing team of Snow White has been fired and restructured.
If you don't understand what's happening here, I can't help you, but in short, Zeroh is lying to you. He said the marketing team were fired, and now the board are coming up with a way to fire a team that's already been removed from future involvement.
Now currently the Disney higher-ups are moving ahead with a strategy to fire the entire marketing team that was hired a while ago for Snow White 2024, since they reportedly weren't doing their best job on editing the 7 dwarfs in a specific way for the promos to differ them from the final film. The plan by Disney was to either reduce the 7 dwarfs down to a bare minimum for things like posters, banners, standees, and even the trailers, which is why Disney finalized their plan to fire both the marketing team and 2 trailer companies that were working on the official trailer that's set to still debut during the 1st or 2nd week of September.
So to summarize, even though the companies he already mentioned have been fired, they still need to finalize their firing for some reason. 1 trailer company became 2, still neither were mentioned by name. The song Hi Ho was a pop version, then a few days later changed to being a folk and hip-hop remix instead. And as you just heard, the marketing team were let go, and 7 days later the board members were conversing about how to fire an already fired marketing team. All of these inconsistencies should make rational thinking human beings call into question Zeroh's news updates, which in reality is just clickbait. Sadly, a lot of people let it wash over them, thinking that they are somehow a step ahead of everyone else, when in fact they come out looking like idiots when we reach a point of the lies coming to the forefront of what has been said. And all of that came from this. Well, that's all I have for you today, so until the next time, thank you for watching and thanks for the support. Take care and I'll see you again soon.